Hey everybody, what is going on? I am Maximus Rex. This is Big Baby Reviews. Today is Saturday. Hope you're having a great weekend. It is Eric Larsen Day, so we are looking at the next issue in his Savage Dragon run from the early 90s. This is issue 8, cover dated March 1994. Not much to say about the cover, kind of foreshadows what's going to be happening inside the comic with these guys after last issue, the dragon falling out of the building and basically being impaled on a spike, as well as before that, the Overlord kind of obliterating or disintegrating one of his hands. They've been sent out basically to find the dragon. So that's kind of what you're seeing depicted on the cover here. And Larsen is purposely has the arm cropped out here so he doesn't kind of sell the spoiler, if you haven't seen last issue, that his hand has been blown off, right? So without further ado, let's have a look inside the comic. Just like last issue, was an all splash page issue. He starts off with a splash page, which makes sense. So it's basically bringing us right back to the story where we were again with last issue. So creator, writer, penciler, inker is Eric Larsen, letterer Chris Eliopoulos, colorist Ruben Rude, editor, I'm just going to mention Janie Wong because I believe that's Eric Larsen's wife. If I'm wrong, let me know in the comments, but I'm pretty sure that's what that is. So we've got a cool double page splash with lots of little insert panels here. I mean, you could, yeah, is it a double page splash? I guess it's 2 different pages, but you could argue about that, you know. I think the build up to all this is really cool. And this answers my question. I was going to say, like, how did the dragon actually pull himself up just with his arm, right? But I really should be paying more attention when I'm looking at the storytelling here, because Eric Larsen did indicate here that when one of these grooves or something, or, you know, the dragon was actually able to hoist himself up with his feet as well as the arm there. So that right there on camera, guys, has solved a mystery for me. 20 odd years in the making. Maybe more than that. When did this come out? 1994, 30 years in the making. You know, I was like, if he's just pulling himself off, that's impossible, even though we're talking about comic books and physics doesn't really apply. But now this makes a lot more sense, me having noticed that he's also hoisting himself up with his feet. So same basic page design over and over, right? Kind of got to build up, building a rhythm, right? And then the kind of money shot of him crashing down. Again, building a rhythm. Seeing him crawling towards an alleyway, towards some form of safety, I guess. I like the way this drawing here. How quickly was this drawn, right? It's almost like a Klaus Janson kind of thing. Really well done. I like it. Just quick and sketchy and very evocative. All the snow, too. Good tool to create depth in the image, right? Snow in the foreground coming down and stuff. It's a good choice. And we pull away, same kind of storytelling, so same sequence, right? Or basically, it's a different sequence, but follows it, right? And what we see is a plane flying away, and Larsen really smart here in his depiction of airplanes. I had to draw an airplane in one of my comics, and it's a bitch, and I had to kind of warp it and cartoonify it or whatever. The way he does it here, like, I can't imagine him spending more than, 1 or 2 minutes on this panel here and getting through it, and you know exactly what's going on. Really well done, this quick zoom in. And then we see Frank. So what's going on there? Or you assume that's Frank, right? So Frank's alive and he's flying away to somewhere. Where's he going, right? Again, Larsen was the strongest writer at Image, and keeping subplots going through his titles and explaining why spin-offs were happening and stuff like that. He was really good at that. I really also like his depiction of clouds here with this small airplane and this big background. I think looks really good. All these clouds. I know that sounds like a weird detail, but more snow. Looks good. Good establishing shot of the police department once again. Very cropped vertical panel, 90s panel, and we're back into the police station here. And they're looking for Frank, and they're looking for the dragon. Don't know what's going on. And we kind of see the repercussions here with the news talking about it. And you've got the lady who thinks maybe Savage Dragon is her son, kind of crying about it. You got the lady who hates the dragon because she blames him for her daughter's death, because her daughter was with the dragon at the time of her death. And here we've got Freak Force, basically the Savage Dragon's friends and stuff, who were with him in the police department up until a couple of issues ago, and are now on their own as kind of a superhero team. Once again, just like the last panel, we saw the dragon crawling into this space here. The way it's drawn here, just quickly and in a sketchy kind of manner, I think just is so good. And especially with what's happening to Dragon and stuff, it kind of fits the situation, I guess. Mirrors those the composition of those previous pages as well. So we're back to the Savage Dragon sequence, basically. Kind of a visual cue. So he's just resting here, and of course, well, just can't leave Dragon alone. We've got these two guys showing up, and you know, if you know anything about the series, they're kind of some of the more classic villains up to this point, I guess, if you can say that. A few issues in like this, but from the miniseries, you definitely recognize those guys, right? I think it's Cutthroat and Hellraiser. And I gotta say, yeah, he's using that same kind of layout a lot in this issue, and it works really well, actually. I hadn't really noticed that before. So these guys obviously are going to take advantage of the situation. As I said earlier when we opened up the episode, you know, Overlord has obviously sent them to find whatever's left of Savage Dragon once he was pushed out of the window there last issue. And they're just, of course, beating the crap out of him. And then you've got a similar kind of layout to before, but kind of turned horizontally, I guess, right? You still got that one big panel and the 4 to 6 smaller panels here. And here it gets flipped, right? So he's doing some slightly symmetrical kind of stuff, I guess, with the pages. That's interesting. Love these negative space panels. Really well done here. This is what I was talking about with some stuff this week from Rob Liefeld and from McFarlane. And this is when they were still at Marvel. So maybe they were working the kinks out. But, you know, where they had stuff cut off like right here when they do these negative space panels, right? Where, you know, you need that full bleed kind of effect, which we're getting here with Image, right? Image had that from the very get-go. They knew how that worked. So basically at this point, Savage Dragon is just trying to get away from these two bastards and ends up in a dead end, unfortunately. So missing a hand. What is Dragon to do? And we're interrupted by the Deadly Duo by Eric Larsen. So we'll take a quick look at that pin up here. There you go. Never thought these were the coolest of characters, but it's cool Eric Larsen drawing. One that he's done thousands of now, right? When you see him, like he's a master of these foreshortened Kirby-esque superheroes coming at you, right? And it's just something he does very well. But only one of the things. If that's all he did, that would suck, but he's just a great storyteller overall. So Dragon realizes he's going to have to fight these guys, right? That's what we're getting here. And Cutthroat goes to slice and dice him, and he just kind of blocks it off there. And this blade breaks. Do want to mention, because before I forget it, I'm just going to go back real quick. I was wondering if this, for some reason, is maybe kind of like a Clockwork Orange reference. Well. Look what we have here, right? If you've seen Clockwork Orange, you probably know what I'm talking about. But there's a scene in the movie where the guy who was kind of the head of the criminal group who got arrested, got sent to prison, got rehabilitated, right, in this special program, gets accosted by his old buddies who are now police officers, right? But there's definitely a reference here. Well. Look what we have here. I may be the only one who sees it, but if you've seen Clockwork Orange, if you're familiar with it, you probably know which sequence I'm talking about. Eric Larsen, let me know if that's where you got that from. So, of course, the inevitable is going to happen here. So, Savage Dragon breaks this guy's leg, just not messing around, stomps his face in. Hellraiser then has a go at him, starts cutting him and cutting him and cutting him. And again, another shot. These are becoming kind of tropes in the Savage Dragon of Savage Dragon's angry face with just blood and, you know, cuts and stuff all over it. There's a similar shot in the miniseries, right? So maybe he's calling back to that somehow. And here basically just grabs Hellraiser's cape, which makes sense, right? If you know anything about superheroes, the first thing a superhero would do is not have a cape, right? It's just an easy way to get caught up and get killed, basically. Not that the dragon kills him, but he does give him a punch there, which, you know, Savage Dragon pretty powerful. But as he runs up to you know, from what I can tell from the storytelling, what I'm supposed to understand is he gets punched into a dark alleyway, and once Dragon actually gets there, well, he's not there anymore. Of course, still using some superheroic tropes in this series, right? And basically passes out once more. Got a dark shadowy figure, but of course not a bad guy in this case, but Rapture, right? A member of Freak Force who knows Dragon. So at least a friendly face here to help Dragon. Hopefully in the next issue we'll find out if that's what happens, but more likely that's what is happening or gonna happen here. I always thought this rendition of the Dragon by a fan here is pretty cool. Hope this guy kept drawing. Definitely, like, back in the day, thought this guy had good potential. This Les White guy too, is he the guy who drew Arachnus? Is that possible? Am I inventing that? I reviewed an issue of Arachnus, so I should look into that. There's something about the way the arms are drawn and depicted. Maybe I'm off my rocker. And yeah, some sort of Scotty Young before Scotty Young version of Savage Dragon. Oh, I get it. Calvin Hobbes. Yes. Got the fin wrong, if you know anything about that. So there you have it, guys. That was my review of the Savage Dragon number 8. If you have any answers to my questions, let me know. And interesting tidbits about this issue about Erik Larsen, let me know in the comments as well. If you are still subscribed and you're still checking out my videos, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'm going to try to be as consistent as I can, put out a video a day. Those of you who are not subscribed, who are watching, please do so. It takes a second for you and it really helps the channel out, helps get us out there to a larger audience. Thank you everyone out there who's watching. I really appreciate it. Everyone out there, have an awesome day. King Comics presents Big Baby, Volume 1, Issues 1 to 13, 204 pages of story and art. King Comics also presents Star Crasher one-shot, 32 pages, cosmic sci-fi surrealist adventure. You can find these fine comics at kingcomics.ca, at MaximusRex13 on Instagram, or on Facebook, MaxRex or Big Baby. Lie!